Welcome to another episode of Sports Talk with the Jersey Guys. I'm Mike Miller, David Heselfeld, Mike McConville. What we do is we sit around, we drink beer, talk about the current sports issues. Right now, probably one of the bigger issues in all of sports is Peyton Manning signing a 5-year, $96 million contract with the Denver Broncos to be the starting quarterback, supplanting incumbent Tim Tebow. Guys, what do you think?
I don't really know. You don't really know how the offense is going to run. Since Peyton's going to pretty much run the offense, how else are we going to take to that? Being in 3 different systems in 3 years. Kyle Orton's system in 2009
With
Kyle Orton and Tim Tebow
last year with John Fox,
and basically Tim Tebow last year. Yeah. And then now Peyton this year. How's everyone going to take to being in the third offensive system? Will Denver bring in some of the ex-Colts to make Manning feel more at home? Will they bring in Jeff Saturday, Joseph Adai to back up Willis McGahee? Will they bring in Dallas Clark because Denver really doesn't have a tight end?
That's the biggest one that I can see is bringing in Dallas Clark.
That would be the one who would have the most impact for the team and for Peyton.
Because he can come in right now and start for that Denver team at tight end.
Yes.
I mean, I know he had his injury last year, but the two of them were so good together in Indianapolis.
And that brings the continuity of the team. Peyton, when he had those runs, when he was great in Indy, it's because he knew the team. He knew the receivers. He knew the tight end. He knew where were they going to be, what they were going to do, how they cut, what areas they could throw to. Peyton is a brilliant football guy. He will do his work and he'll study. But he doesn't have the timing with these guys.
Well, that's the thing that he needs to do right now is he knows he's playing for Denver. He knows he can go out and throw passes right now. He can't do it due to the CBA in a team facility, but he can call up his new wide receivers and have a nice weekend together and do nothing but throw passes and work on timing, run routes, especially if he knows basically what offense he's going to run.
OTAs start next month, so...
Yeah, and there's nothing that says that he can't go out and work with these wide receivers and running backs, and even the offensive lineman for the Broncos right now. He can go do that on his own time on a field somewhere far away from the facility. So if I'm Peyton Manning, I'm calling up every single one of those guys on offense and saying, meet me here, I'll pay for your rooms, let's spend a weekend together and practice. Get ready. That's what I would do.
I think it was a great move for the Denver organization. They needed to get out of the Tebow atmosphere. It was a great move, and that was their way out. Peyton, on the other hand, I really don't think it was a great move for him. I think there would have been better offenses over there and better defensive teams that he could have went to.
San Francisco.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. San Francisco, that would have been prime for him.
You put Peyton in that quarterback spot with the weapons they have on offense and that dominant defense. You don't know if they're going to win.
And Manningham,
You could pencil them in for 2-3 Super Bowl appearances, maybe even wins in the next 5 years.
I wouldn't go that far because the NFC is pretty stacked. I mean, I understand the Saints are going to take a step back this year.
I'm not even talking about
next year.
Look what they did with Alex Smith. NFC Championship game.
I mean,
that's true. But that was mostly on their defense.
And if whoever that returner guy was didn't fumble, they'd be in Super Bowl.
2 times.
I believe.
Poor guy.
Wasn't that Ginn or?
No,
that wasn't Ginn.
It wasn't
Ginn.
It was some guy's son who was is the White Sox, the son of a White Sox manager, I think.
Oh, the new one?
I think
not Ozzy.
No.
He's
the new one.
Ozzy's in Florida.
Yeah, I know. Ozzy used to be the White Sox.
No,
manager.
it was not Ozzy.
Wasn't
I think
Ozzy's?
it's
all right, but here we go.
Anyway, we're getting off topic. Okay.
Off topic.
Back to Manning.
Well, what are the expectations for the Broncos this year?
It's of course it's going to have to be Super Bowl.
I think it's like the Eagles did last year: Super Bowl or bust.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be their expectations for bringing in Manning.
And honestly, I think the only teams they're gonna have to go through: Baltimore, Pittsburgh, New England.
Houston. Houston's a very good team, guys. I'm
But
telling you.
if
Houston
Matt
is-
Chubb goes down,
And you saw what they did last year when he did.
But are they
They
gonna
were
be
still
the
able to play
same?
defense.
Their
the only
defense.
reason they were in that Ravens game is because Joe Flacco sucks as well.
Hey,
Come on.
But that's the NFL. You're allowed to have weaknesses.
Not
Every
at
team
the
has a
quarterback
weakness.
position.
Granted, a lot of teams recently that have won Super Bowls, a lot of teams that have won Super Bowls have had great quarterbacks. I'll give you
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Brady, Eli, Peyton, Breeze, Rodgers, Roethlisberger, they've all been really good quarterbacks. But we've also seen teams that have had so-so quarterbacks win it. So that's why I think Houston's still in.
Trent Dilfer.
That's exactly what I was
But-
thinking. Trent
Exactly.
Dilfer.
But the thing with Peyton is the AFC is really strong, but it's not as strong as the NFC. The NFC has a lot of superstar quarterbacks.
Go down the list.
Yeah, you can go down the list with Rodgers, Breeze, his brother, Vic,
Wait,
Matt Ryan.
Breeze has a brother?
That's how I put
Peyton's
it.
brother, you idiot. Peyton's brother.
Well, the way you said it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
You could have just said
Eli.
No, nuts.
Eli.
Jeez.
If Romo can get his act together and that Dallas Cowboys team can get their act together, they can be tough. I mean, the NFC is is stacked. The AFC is strong, but it's not as top heavy.
You
You
think
know,
that's why
there's
he
3 or
stayed in
4
the
teams.
AFC?
Oh, definitely.
I guarantee it. Plus the fact, he to get to Super Bowl, he doesn't have to go through his brother.
He
The Giants.
wants
That's
a
a big
Manning
thing.
versus Manning Super Bowl.
In New York.
Could happen.
It
Super
could.
Bowl's coming to New York
Mhm.
in the next couple of years.
Yeah, 2014. It could happen. Both those teams are really good teams. To me, out of the teams that were in the hunt for him in the AFC, which is where he admittedly said on TV that's where he wanted to stay. He wanted to be in the AFC. And out of the teams that were in the hunt for him, Denver, Tennessee, and Miami, who were legitimate contenders to get him, Denver's the best. Out of those 3, Denver is the place that gave him the best chance to win. The best defense. They have offensive weapons with Thomas and Dicker and Moreno and McGahee. They're a decent enough team where he has a shot, especially if they bring in a guy like Jeff Saturday to play center and Dallas Clark, hopefully, to play tight end. Because to me, if you give me that, that's going to be a good offense. If their defense can play as well as they did last year, you're looking at maybe an AFC Championship berth, possibly a Super Bowl berth. I think they'd be a good team. And you know how it's been the last couple of years. All you have to do is hit fire going into the playoffs
Yeah, you just got to be hot coming into the
at the
playoffs.
right time.
So what do you?
The Giants losing to the Green Bay Packers, making the Packers get hot and then beating them.
Yeah.
So what do you think the record's gonna be next year?
I don't have their schedule in front of me, but I think they'll
They
probably
have the
win
second toughest schedule.
Second
They'll
toughest.
probably be 10-6.
That's what I'm going for. They're gonna be a 10-16,
I'm going to go 11-5.
11
And
5.
then win the division, get the 3rd seed.
They're gonna win the division. I don't think they're gonna get 3rd seed. I think
You
they're
don't?
I think they're gonna get 4th seed.
Really?
Yes.
So who do you have coming out of the North? Because I'm assuming the North is who you have at 3rd seed.
Yeah.
Or do you have the South at 3rd seed?
The South might be the 3rd seed, right there. Texans coming out of the South for the 3rd seed.
I've got them 2nd seed.
They might be
I have
second.
them number 1 seed.
Number 1 seed.
Yeah, they
It's
were
a possibility.
They were close to
Just-
having the number 1 seed last year.
It's just whether they can get by New England or not. Depends on what kind of year New England has.
True.
Because looking at it right now, New England, you pretty much say that as long as they play as well as they did this year, they'll have the 1st seed. And then I've got Houston at the 2nd seed and Baltimore at the 3rd seed. Pittsburgh being the wild card and probably either the Bengals or the Chiefs being that final playoff team.
It's a possibility. I just wonder over there. I have my doubts a little bit because he is going to play in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Mile High because it's a
And
mile high up.
And it's something I haven't really, put too much thought into. It's a big change.
It is. It's a big change in just the atmosphere of playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you got to factor in weather.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't play in a dome anymore.
Yeah, he's going to go from playing guaranteed 8 games in a dome
They're
to guaranteed
outdoors.
at least 8 games outside.
So what's going to happen there? How is he going to adjust that? Granted, he can play outdoors. That's fine.
Really, he's guaranteed to play. He's got his 8 home games outdoors, and plus the other 3 teams in that division play outside. So that's guaranteed, 14 games outside?
Yeah. And then you throw in
tough.
wintertime.
Especially playing a game in Arrowhead, that's going to be
And then
tough.
how's that?
Well, you want to go through their schedule and see what they could do?
Yeah.
All right,
I
let's
have
go
their
for
schedule
it.
right here.
Quick.
All right.
Their first
Well,
game,
let's.
we'll shout. We'll
Well,
say
I don't have it in order, but I have
Okay.
their home games and their away games.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go through the division first.
Okay.
Kansas City, Oakland, and San Diego in Denver. What are they gonna do?
They'll beat Kansas City. They'll beat Oakland. San Diego, that might be a tough one. I got that feeling to be a tough one with there. It may be a shootout.
But San Diego doesn't have that dominant wide receiver anymore in Vince Jackson.
Well, it depends on who they get in the draft. You never know who they're able to pick up.
But
I've got them for their divisional home games. I've got them losing to Oakland.
Okay. No, I can see that.
Oakland's a very good team, especially when they're playing their division.
Yeah. Carson Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a possibility. Got McFadden.
Yep.
McFadden
If
and
they're
Michael
able to-
Bush.
He's a free agent,
Is he free agent now?
but
He,
they
he
could
wants to
still
be
resign
number
him.
one somewhere.
Okay.
They could still resign him if
All right.
Bush can't get something.
And then,
Their 3
Awesome.
divisional away games.
well, let's just stay with home games right now.
Okay.
Their other home games: Cleveland, the Browns, wins.
Win.
Tampa,
Win.
Win,
think-
but could be an upset.
Could be.
Depends on how Tampa turns it around with Shiano.
Houston, in Denver.
I'm gonna say it's a loss. I think Houston will beat them. I think Houston will
Yeah,
will be in
I'm
Denver.
going to agree with that.
And
They're going to win blowing them out.
the 2 teams that have the 2 major stories this year: Denver versus New Orleans.
Denver.
Denver's gonna win. I don't think New Orleans is
New
gonna.
Orleans is going to have a tough year.
Yeah, they're gonna have a tough year.
All right, now 3 divisional opponents on the road.
That's tough. That's tough.
I mean, you have warm weather in San Diego. You have warm weather in Oakland, and Kansas City is a toss-up on how you're going to get weather.
I think they're gonna lose all 3 of their road games. I think
Ooh.
KC will come out.
That's a
at
bold
home.
statement.
I think Oakland is gonna take them out, and I think San Diego is gonna take them out. I think they're gonna lose all 3 of their away division games.
Bold statement is bold.
I think. This is tough. I think they'll lose to Oakland. away.
Again?
Yeah.
So they'll lose home.
Yeah, I think
Home
they're going
and
to get
away
swept
to
by
Oakland?
Oakland. I think they're going to get swept by Oakland.
More bold statements.
They'll beat San Diego in a close game, and they'll probably lose to Kansas City at Kansas City.
Should have been writing this down to see what records you're going to
Yeah, I should. I should. I forget what
All right, so we'll go back. We'll go back. Yeah. And do this. All right, and then
The rest of their aways.
they faced Baltimore on the road.
Loss.
I think they're gonna win that. I think
It's going to be a loss.
They're gonna beat the Ravens in Baltimore. All right.
Peyton will pull it off.
Yeah.
I got a feeling he'll pull it off.
Cincinnati.
That's a
They'll
win.
He'll win.
No, I think you're underestimating the Bengals.
I'm not underestimating them. Bengals are good. I
I
will admit.
I
just
don't think
they're
you're
gonna beat
underestimating them with Andy
No.
Dalton.
The redhead fever.
I think AJ Green is gonna be a monster wide receiver.
Yes.
They just recently signed Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis to back up Cedric Benson. So their running game's good. They got Jermaine Gresham as tight end. I think they're a sleeper team this year.
Yes. But I still think Denver's gonna be.
Yes, so do I.
We'll leave this team for last.
What, Pittsburgh?
You know, that's their home game. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Atlanta. Remember, it's a
It's a
dome.
win. It's a win.
Carolina.
Win.
I'm thinking upset. I got a feeling Cam Newton's going to show some more this year, and he's going to be.
He could.
Possibility.
And I'm going to see Cam Newton take over that game.
And then the rivalry that stands forever. Peyton versus Brady. In Foxborough.
You know what? The Broncos over the last couple of years have played that team hard. And they've
Except for
won
when
a couple
Tebow was
close
playing.
games. Well, yeah, except for when Tebow's. Yeah, I just think
Which is
Peyton
supposed
being there,
to be.
I'm
I mean,
going to take a win for Denver on that. It'll be a close game, but the way the Broncos have played them, they obviously know Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator.
Get my pen here. Get it. Pen stealer.
I don't know. You go tie?
Yeah, you can't go high. It's a cop out.
Cop out. Come on. 1.
So I've got them doing exactly what I thought. 11 and 5.
I think I got him 10-6. I don't know. I didn't keep track.
Oh, yeah.
But I think I got him 10-6 at
I just did mine in the head, and I have them going 9-7.
9-7. That's what I'm thinking. Either 10-6 or 9-7.
Because I have them beating the Chiefs, beating the Raiders, beating the Chargers, beating the Browns. It's going to be a toss-up against the Steelers, the Texans, and the Saints. So I'm counting them as losses since I'm not outright saying they're wins. They're going to beat the Bucs. And on the road, they're going to beat the Chiefs and beat the Raiders. And I'm going to say they're probably going to lose to the Chargers because the Chargers always play well at home.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens, I think the Ravens defense will shut down Manning. And they're always good against the run, so.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When Manning was with the Colts, they were never able to shut him down.
Different
When they
team.
played.
It's a
Different
different
team.
team.
I
and
understand
wide
it's a different
receivers
team,
skill sets.
but you can't say shut down Manning.
All right, they'll shut down the wide receivers.
They might be able to do that, but they've never shut down Manning before.
The key's going to be that offensive line.
I
If
I
he
just
gets
don't know.
protection.
I don't know against Cincinnati. I honestly think.
I think that'll be a win.
I just can't say.
Look, all of these games
I
that
know
we
it's
have
tight,
this
it's
year are
I
tough.
know I'm copping out on this one, but I can't. I can't say. That game is just hard to say.
Their whole schedule this year is tough.
Yes.
Believe
Well,
me, it's tough on
let's see.
paper.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 Pro Bowl quarterbacks they play against.
That's pretty tough. But remember who the quarterback of that team is, Peyton Manning.
But it's not going to be Peyton who's going to win those games. It's going to be their defense.
Oh,
It's
going to
have to be their defense.
It's going to have to be because Peyton doesn't play defense. Peyton's going to have to put up points
He's going to put up
and
the
then hope
points.
that defense can stop the other teams.
Yep.
I think that's good. We pretty much covered everything.
Do you think this is where Peyton's going to finish his career? You think he's going to finish in Denver? Or you think he's going to be like a Brett Favre and go to maybe 1 or 2 more teams and not know when to hang it up?
No. Well, when Brett did that, he never signed a long contract.
Yeah.
Peyton has a 5-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
This is where he ends it.
If he goes through that 5 years and ends that contract,
Well, see, I don't think if they can get to 1 Super Bowl, if they win, he'll be done. That's when he'll be done.
Oh, so you're saying that if they go and they win a Super Bowl this year, that's it for Peyton?
it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
I honestly think deep down inside, he'll never admit this. He wants to go out like John Elway did on the back of the
Well,
Super Bowl.
if he wants to go out like John Elway did, he's going to go out after the 2nd Super Bowl, after winning 2 in a row. Then, if he really wants to go out like
What do you think
Elway.
Brett Favre was doing? He wanted to go out on top.
Oh,
Greedy bastard.
I'm sure he did.
Favre watch.
Hard watch.
Favre watch.
I just can't see him winning one Super Bowl and saying, that's it, I'm done. Especially if
Well,
he's
that
in
give
good
him
health, he
two.
can still do it. Yeah, but I mean,
And
one
he'd be
Super
the
Bowl in
first. He'd
Denver.
be the first quarterback in history to
To
win
win two
two
with
Super
two
Bowls
separate
with two
teams.
separate teams. Don't steal my thunder, you bastard.
Sorry, calm down.
But
I just can't see him leaving after one
do you
Super
think he
Bowl.
wants to one up his brother? Win 3.
Mm-hmm.
But Eli's younger than him. He's gonna have a whole lot more years than Peyton.
True.
And Peyton still has a lot of regular season stats to go after. The all-time yards record, the all-time passing touchdown
I seriously
record.
don't think that matters to him.
I think deep down it does.
No. If he wins a Super Bowl, no. If
Yeah.
he's getting to
All
a
he
point
wants
to
is
where
that. All he wants is that ring.
I think
He
if it's
also
to a point
loves to
where he
play.
knows he's not going to win the Super Bowl, then he'll go after those records.
Yeah, but the guy also loves to play too.
Yeah,
You're gonna
he
tell
does.
me, if this guy wins a Super Bowl next year, he's gonna say, "Oh, that's it, I'm done. I don't feel like playing."
I
This
think
guy loves to
honestly,
play.
if he wins it this year, if by some off chance he wins a Super Bowl this year, I think he should just hang it up, because then he could say, "I just went to another team first year. I am the greatest quarterback," and walk away. Don't
Sure, you
tarnish
could do
it
that.
any other way.
You could do that.
You know.
We'll have to see how it
Because
goes
I mean,
this
if
year,
he
guys.
wins Super Bowl this year, and then next year he says, "All right, I'm coming back, gonna honor my contract," and if he gets injured
I
and then his
understand.
career is done,
I
that's
understand.
going out on a low point.
It would be like Favre.
Exactly.
He had that great year, was one throw away from an Super Bowl berth. in the
No,
AFC
was one
Championship.
referee call away.
Oh yeah, that too.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was more like 3 or 4.
But
Sorry.
but we're gonna go the politically correct way and say he was one bad throw away from making it to the Super Bowl. He came
Well, I'm
back.
not politically correct, goddammit.
No, you're not.
I call it like it is.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I call it like I see it.
Yeah,
There
that's
you go.
better. That's better. All right, guys. This was an episode of Sports Talk with the Jersey Guys. Thanks a lot. Make sure you check back weekly for another episode. Have a great night.